Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for taking an interest in this book and audio tape, Act Like You Know, the No BS Guide for Your Acting Career. And really, what I want to do before I get into anything is just talk to you about a specific mindset that I want you to have going into this. Um, Acting is an art, and art is subjective. And so I want you to go into this, um, with an open mind, but also with an idea that you're not going to necessarily agree with everything I have to say, but it's up to you as an artist to take from it what you find is necessary, and leave out the rest. If you take all of it and you like it all, great. But I want to encourage you to do that with everything in your career. Is you don't have to take everything that you're given. You could take it in parts, and discard whatever doesn't work for you. And I think that's a key thing to keep in mind as you move forward. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into this and get started. So, there's a few things that I want to talk about um, within this book, and hopefully, again, it'll be things that you can apply to your career and help you get where you need to go. Now, the first chapter in this book is about mental game. And obviously, we get into that a little bit further, but your mental game in anything and anything that you pursue is going to be a very, very crucial tool to your success. And speaking of tools, we want to talk about the tools for the trade. Acting. I think acting is very much a trade as much as it being a plumber or an electrician. We're essentially contract workers, and I'll get into that obviously in that chapter. Get that work. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about how to actually start getting yourself on screen and build your resume. Blue collar job, the craft. We're going to break down a few techniques and things that will hopefully be beneficial to you when you start getting scripts, and really digging into your character. Partners in crime. It's going to be agent talk. Okay, we're going to talk about the people that you ideally want to have around you in order for you to be successful. Side notes, and here we go. So this is just a quick picture here for inspiration. This is the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles, where the Oscars are held. And quite honestly, aiming for an Oscar is not wrong. It's not about fame. It's not about any of the fluff, but it's simply an idea that you want to obtain this level of success in your craft. So it's not necessarily about the physical award, but just knowing that that's the level that you want to achieve in your career. And quite honestly, if you're not aiming for the best and the highest level, then this might not be for you. You know what I mean? In the sense that not that anything else is not worth it, but you have to have this mentality of achieving the highest level. So let's jump into that. Chapter 1, the mental game. So, what do you really want to accomplish? Okay? It's a very important question that you got to ask yourself before you even begin in this career. All right? We're going to talk about and break down fame versus artistic integrity. I want you to understand the grind. Okay? We're going to build skills and reputation, the right perspective, and we're also going to talk about evolving. All right, these are all key pieces in dealing with the mental game. So these are the things that you are in control of as an artist. Everything else, auditioning and whatever else, is kind of out of your control. But what you can control is you and your mental capacity and courage to push through this industry. So, what do you really want to accomplish? Okay, it's important to start every new endeavor with this question. Even if you've already started, taking time to reflect on this thought can help you to realign. Having been there, I know some of the thoughts actors can have about themselves and their careers when they begin. It is crucial the thoughts that you have are positive and progressive, while also maintaining an objective view of the industry. So, positive and progressive thoughts. Okay, it's one thing to think positively. Okay, and that's like we were in this whole trend now of good vibes and energy, but your thoughts also have to be progressive. Okay, so once you have that positive, good feeling inside of you, what are your next thoughts? How are you going to use that energy to push your career and yourself forward? Okay, so again, you want to think, all right, which is going to generate your energy and your thoughts. You want to feel that and how that translates into your actions, all right, and that's going to be your final step is to act. Okay, so it's not enough just to think or even to feel. You have to act. And oddly enough, these are some of the key steps into actually performing as an actor. All right, there's some thinking involved in terms of your character, and there's a feeling in terms of your emotion during a scene, and then you actually want to act out those thoughts and emotions with your scene partner. Okay, so again, we want to think about what do you actually want to accomplish. Okay, do you want to be famous? All right, do you want to just have all the fun and the glitz and the glamour, or do you actually want to dive deep down into the craft of acting? Okay, and I love this saying here. It says, "Your thoughts are the fabric of your life. Choose wisely." So jumping back into the portion that it talks about fame versus artistic integrity. All right, in most cases, it's easy to see a particular vocation through the lens of those who are most prominent. Okay, we got LeBron James, David Beckham, Dave Chappelle, Neil deGrasse Tyson. These type of individuals unofficially represent their industries, but the truth is, there's only 2%. There's another 98% that work just as hard and make that industry what it is. Okay, so yes, we see these people who are super famous and they kind of represent or unofficially represent that industry or vocation, but what about everybody else that's involved? Obviously LeBron is not playing against himself, or David Beckham, or Dave Chappelle isn't the only comedian in the world, and obviously Neil deGrasse Tyson is not the only scientist in the world. So there's that other 98% of people who are working just as hard and make that industry what it is. Okay, so again, I want to think about the fame versus artistic integrity. All right, one thing you have to do in order to maintain your sanity is to understand the difference between fame and the day-to-day work of someone who's focused on their career. In our case, that work can be classified as artistic integrity. What I mean is to not allow external factors to dictate why and or how you pursue your acting career. If fame is what you seek, there are easier ways, trust me. Your first thought should be, how can I be the best actor that I can be? Nothing more, nothing less. Anything beyond that is out of your control and should not take up mental real estate. Okay, so these are some key things I want you to keep in mind when we think about why you're pursuing your acting career. Okay, if it's just about fame, hey, go do some YouTube videos and do some crazy things online or on Snapchat, and definitely trust me, you will become famous. But if you're really into it for the work and for the craft, then you really have to think about artistic integrity and how you want to pursue acting. Okay, now understanding the grind is also very, very crucial. All right, and this is a major key alert, as DJ Khaled would say. I cannot stress enough that taking on a career as an actor requires consistent effort. I'm not saying you have to work yourself to the bone every day, but you should be doing something to move your career forward every day. You cannot be passive and expect to reap rewards like those reserved for actors who are already well established in the industry and no longer have to audition for roles, unless they really want to. As for the rest of us, the work never stops. With that being said, you have to define success for yourself. Okay, and what I mean by that is you might be a theater actor, and you really love theater, and that's where you live, and that's where you want your career to thrive, and that's fine. That's your definition of success. Some may want a comedy sitcom, or some may want to do a drama film, or some may want to travel and do children's theater. All right, you have to define what is successful for you. Okay, you cannot get distracted by the glitz and the glamour of Instagram and the daily night shows and the magazines and whatnot, which is all well and good. If that's what you want, that's fine. But make sure it's your decision. It's not coming from outside influence, okay? So you have to define success for yourself. And I guarantee you, once you do this, it becomes easier because now there's no distractions. You know what it is you want, so what you don't want becomes easier to disregard, okay? So even a broken clock is right twice a day. All right. What I mean by that is, yay, you just got to keep going. You got to keep going. You're not gonna get every role. You're not gonna book every audition. But if you keep going, I guarantee you, you will hit. All right. So, a part of that, keep going and doing these things is building your skills and reputation. All right. This is such an important thing to do and to keep in mind as an actor. These are the two main things actors have control over. Okay. Building your skills should be your number one priority. And then we'll talk more about that and how to do that later in this presentation. Any artistic endeavor is about exploration and the development of your tools. In this case, your tools are your body, voice, mind, and emotions. Second to this is your reputation. Man, I cannot stress this enough. Guard this with your life. Okay, your reputation as an actor is so pivotal. Okay, it just like trust, it takes years to build and takes only a split second to destroy and to lose it or to tarnish it. Okay, so guard this with your life. And what I mean by that is simple things that you can do, again, in your control. Be pleasant. Show respect to casting directors and agents and producers and directors and ADs and audio people and everybody on set and everybody involved in the industry. And it's not just to do it so that you can get more work. It's because it's the right thing to do. All right. And if you think of it from that point, it becomes easier and becomes more natural. And I guarantee you, you will reap the benefits of it by just being a good person. That's half the battle. Think about it this way. Someone can be the best actor in the world, but if they're a jackass or, excuse my language, an asshole, nobody's going to want to work with them. So what good is being the best actor in the world if nobody wants to work with you because you got an attitude problem, okay? A career in film is an uphill battle. Don't add extra weight to your journey by damaging your reputation. Treat those you encounter with respect and be reliable. Think about it. A typical day on set can be 12 to 14 hours. Would you want to spend that time with someone who is inconsiderate? Okay? The right perspective. Having the specific perspective in this industry will save you a lot of heartache. And trust me, I've been there. I know you've heard people say you need to have thick skin to be in the film industry. This is partially true. However, having thick skin implies a defensive approach to this career. I say have the right perspective. This is playing offense. If you think about things the right way, then you won't be surprised by anything. Understanding that this industry is a numbers game and nothing is guaranteed even at the highest levels. Everyone is always concerned about securing the next job. The decisions that are made are often subjective with no real reason behind it. This is why it's important to have unshakable confidence in who you are and what you're capable of doing. I'll break that down a little bit further, okay? You might go to an audition and keep in mind, there's only so many roles, so they're going to see, let's say, 10 to 15 people for the role that you're going for. And so you'll go in, you'll do all the work, you'll know your lines, and you'll give a great read, and then they'll realize that, oh man, this guy or this girl is only 5'10", but the person that they're supposed to act against is 6'3", and the rest of the cast is above 6 feet. So sometimes it's as simple as that, as trying to match people and bring them together and make a cohesive cast that makes sense. And just by sheer chance, they might love you, like, oh, he did a great job, but he's only 5'6", or she's only 5'6". So now you're kind of a mix match with the rest of the cast that you're trying to put you up with. Okay, so a lot of times it's things like that, and there's other examples of this, but sometimes it's that simple. It's height, and you can't control that. So why worry about it? Okay, so again, this is why it's important to have unshakable confidence in who you are and what you're capable of doing. Okay, I love this quote here from Arnold Schwarzenegger. It says, if you want to turn a vision into reality, you have to give 100% and never stop believing in your dream. Okay, so you got to get to this point where you're so confident in your ability as an actor that nothing's going to shake you. You're just going to keep going until you book. And when you book, you're even going to keep going harder, even more. Okay, it's constant effort. It's constant building of confidence, and you just got to keep moving forward. Okay, and that's all about having the right perspective. And as time goes on, having the right perspective is going to allow you to evolve. Okay, who you are when you start is not who you'll be in 2 years versus who you'll be in 7. Evolution is a great sign of progress, whether it's mental, physical, actually booking work. All right, it's a great sign of progress. Now, it might not be in the ways you expect, but regardless, it's still growth. You cannot control how your art will be received, but you can control how you evolve. I believe growth should be the main goal of every artist. A funny thing that I learned recently is regarding a bamboo tree. And a bamboo tree seed can be planted and not see growth until its 5th or 6th year. However, within 1 year, it can grow 6 feet or higher. Okay? So if you think about that as an example of your career, think about it. Your seed of your dream of being an actor can be planted, and you could be watering it and watering it and getting it sunshine, and putting fertilizer in the soil and loving it and giving it good energy, and not see growth for 5 to 6 years. And it can be discouraging because you're saying, well, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do and not see any growth. But this involves, again, having the right perspective and trusting the process and having complete confidence in who you are and your ability as an actor. And I guarantee you, time will tell. So you have to trust the process and know that your time will come. You just have to be ready for it. Tools of the trade. All right, so let's jump right into this. We got your headshot, we got your resume, your demo reel, website, and social media. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. So your headshots, for those who don't know, okay, the first thing you have to keep in mind is that you are the business. With other art forms like music, painting, etc., one can separate themselves from the quote-unquote product. Okay, but in this case, that's you. Headshots are product shots, putting yourself in the best possible and honest light. Okay, you want to make sure that you look like you in your photo. The reason I say honest is because in business, you never want to lie about the product. Okay, people expect to get what they see in the image. I'm sure this has happened to you at some point. You order something from Amazon, and when it arrives, it looks nothing like the picture. How do you feel? Exactly. That's how a casting director, producer, and director would feel if you walked in the room and looked different from your headshot. Okay? So the headshot has to be and should be the best and most honest representation of yourself. Okay? You're either sharpening the axe or taking swings at the tree. Okay? Notice how this is a progressive thought process. Okay? You got to be doing something. Going back to my earlier thought, to move your career forward every day. Okay, whether it's a small thing or a big thing, you have to be doing something. Okay, so that's why I put this here. You're either sharpening your axe or you're taking swings at the tree. Either way, you're doing something. Okay. Next thing is your resume. Okay, like any other job, people want to see what you've done. Okay, and the resume illustrates that. All right, and this is another key tool when conducting business is your business card. And this is kind of like your business card. All right, functioning as a way for someone to get a quick glimpse of who you are and what you've done. Your resume should be as simple and concise as possible, especially when you're starting out. The presentation of your resume is key for someone who has never met you. It may also paint a picture of what your strengths are. In most instances, casting directors might see and like your headshot, then want to take a quick look at your resume. Only your best work at the time should be included. This will change as you progress in your career. Okay, so you might start out doing, PSAs or commercials or little small indie projects here and there, and you include that on your resume because that's what you have. All right, but as you move up, you maybe get an actor role, you get a principal role, or even a lead, right? You start to craft your resume differently as you elevate in your career. Okay, so the most recent and best work is what you want to include in your resume. And here are a few examples of how you can lay it out. Again, very similar to a regular resume. If you were, looking for a job at, I don't know, McDonald's or wherever, you want to lay it out as clean and concise as possible. Your name, your phone number. If you got a website, you put it there. The only difference with this resume over your typical resume is that you also include some personal items like your height, your weight, your hair color, your eye color. If you're doing theater, you could put your range in terms of your voice. So if you're a tenor, soprano, alto, and also your union status is an important thing to include as an actor. And so in addition to that, you also want to make sure people can contact you. So obviously your email address and your phone number are going to be important to include on there as well. Okay. And again, you can jump online and Google some templates and start to fill it out with your items if you're not familiar with graphic design and whatnot. Your demo reel, okay? Again, thinking about it as a business, your demo reel is going to be your commercial. Okay, this is your own personal commercial. Remember, you are the product, and the product needs to be put in the best possible light. Okay, think about how commercials are structured. They're meant to catch your attention and make you want to buy that product. This is how you should think about your demo reel as an actor. The end result should be someone wanting to hire you for their next project. In order to do that, your commercial should be short and sweet and only include the best of what you have to offer. In some cases, a casting director might not look at the resume, so it's important that your demo reel and headshot really capture the essence of what you are, of who you are rather, and what you're capable of. Okay, and so I have here a few tips for you. Okay, maximum 3 minutes, but only if you have content to fill that time. Short and sweet is best. If your demo reel happens to be a minute, minute and a half, or less than that, that's fine. Okay, only work with what you have. Remember, casting directors are looking at hundreds, if not thousands, of resumes and demo reels. Okay, you want to capture their attention, get your point across, and get out. All right, you don't want them to feel like they're bored or they're skipping through. You want to grab them, give them what you got, and then let them go. Okay. Also, with that in mind, start with your best scene. Okay, you want them as soon as they turn it on, boom, they're like, whoa, who is this? All right, and you do that by starting off strong. Don't start with a montage. Don't start with, a scene that you're not actually seeing until like 30 seconds in. All right, what I mean by this is like start with your face. Boom, this is me. I'm here, and then let the scene progress. All right, and also as another tip, include your contact information at the end. Okay, sometimes things get lost, or they might find something like, oh man, I don't even know who this is. Include your contact information on your resume and in your demo reel because you never know where it might end up. Okay, somebody might forward it to somebody, and we lose track of who's who. But if it's in there, then it's beneficial to you. At least they can contact you or your agent directly. Okay. This is more of a recent thing in acting, is a website and social media. Okay, and by recent I do mean like the last 5 years, where it's really become, I think, a good tool to have in your arsenal as an actor and an artist. Again, I will state you are the business, and you must think about every task and idea that way. In today's market, I believe having some presence online is beneficial. I'm not saying it will make your career, unless your goal is to be a YouTube star or an influencer, but I do believe it helps with the overall presentation of the business, again, which is you. This is where a website and your social media come in. These days, you can build a website fairly easily and quickly and for free, so why not? Also, social media sites like Instagram can also serve as a website if you set it up correctly. Again, the idea is for someone who doesn't know you to walk away with a better idea of who you are and what you can offer, which goes both ways. What I mean by this is be careful what you post. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Be careful what you post. And I don't think pictures of you dancing around drunk at a party would be beneficial to your career. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you are going to use social media as a means of looking for work, remember, people want to hire you, and you have to be professional like any other job. So keep that in mind with what you post. And so what some people do is they have a personal social media account, and they have a business or acting social media account. So if you're active, maybe you want to make one private and then make one separately for your acting career. Okay, but again, just keep in mind how you're posting, who you're posting to, and so on and so forth. So all this is good, but you got to be able to get the work. You got to be able to get on camera. So hence, get that work. Okay. So we're going to talk about the full range, and I'll explain that. Casting websites, social media again, workshops, and showcases. Okay. So the full range. What I need you to understand is acting is not just the stars you see on Netflix, Hulu, or at your local movie theater. There is a full range of possibilities when it comes to making a living as an actor. Now, don't get me wrong, I completely understand if that is your goal. In fact, I think it's great. However, it wouldn't be fair to not include the full picture. There's a difference between a working actor and a celebrity. Okay? If you want to be a celebrity, there are easier ways. Make a viral video, become a YouTube star. However, if acting is really what you want to do, then you need to explore all the avenues available to you. These are some areas to explore to help you become comfortable performing while also building a network of support. Okay? First one is theater, which I till this day still love and quite honestly sometimes I miss. Okay? I strongly believe this is the best place to start as an actor and also revisit throughout your career. Like a bodybuilder in the gym, the theater does the same for an actor. At least that's what I believe. Okay? There's a saying that I've heard before where it goes, movies are for directors, TV is for writers, and theater is for actors. Yes, everyone is involved in all three, but the focus shifts a little bit for each of those mediums. In theater, an actor has the opportunity to, kind of just really go with the flow and allow their emotions to dictate where the character goes nonstop, or not nonstop, but for the duration of the play without being interrupted. And that I think is really important for an actor to have an opportunity to live as the character for a longer period of time. And you don't always get that in, the film and TV world, because you might do a take and then you get a cut and then you might do it again and then you might switch angles and so on and so forth. So in terms of the time that you have to live as the character, I think it's limited in that arena versus in theater where it's like, man, once that curtain goes up, boom, you're on until the end of that play. Okay, and that might be an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, who knows? But you get to live as that character and really get to explore and carve out new emotions each time you perform that role. Student films, okay, these are your filmmakers of the future, so why not get in on the ground level and build lasting relationships? You never know, you might end up working with the next Martin Scorsese or Ava DuVernay. All right. Background is also good. Okay, this is one of the easiest and most consistent ways to get on set. Being on set will open your eyes to the dynamics of how a film and TV show is made. Getting used to this environment will be key to your success. Not only does it expose you to the process and proper set etiquette, but a great way to build relationships. Trust me when I say the industry is small, okay? It's very small. So, who you see today in one position might not be in the same position, a few years down the road, okay? And hey, you never know how it might work out. So if you bump into somebody, they could be your boss the next day, okay? Continuing on, commercials, okay? I'll be completely honest with you, commercials are not the best arena to build your acting skills, okay? But I will say the experience is worth it. From the audition process to being on set and, of course, the paycheck, I know some actors that do very well with commercials, especially if you get a national spot. Not only that, the same crew that work on commercials sometimes end up on TV shows and films as well. So again, keeping that in mind that the film industry is small. All right, so again, you want to start building your reputation, allowing people to see your face, and obviously getting work and getting paid. And another avenue as well, which is just as good, is your own work. Okay, I think this avenue is very important. Working on your own material demands a greater level of creativity. And again, in every art, creativity is that main ingredient. Okay? More importantly, it allows you to experience the different positions when creating a short film or even a stage play. For example, if you decide to write a script, you're now increasing your knowledge of script and story structure, which will also help you as an actor when breaking down a script to understand the character and why they did what they did and when they did it. Okay? You're understanding story structure. Same thing for directing and other vocations within the industry. They all help to inform you as an actor. Okay? Because then now you can start to speak the language of the director, the language of the writer, so that when you put the actor hat back on, you can now easily communicate with these individuals about how you're going to pursue the role of the character. All right, or if they say something specific like, oh, okay, well, I know what you're talking about here because you know I wrote a little script before, and you start talking about breaking down first act and second act and so on and so it's story arc and whatnot. Don't audition for the role, audition for your career. And this is very, very important. And the reason why I put this in there is because I want you to understand again, if you're going to be a professional, you have to understand that the people that this is their livelihood. They're not just in and out. Okay, they've been doing it for 10, 20, 50, I don't know, 50 years. Okay, so it takes time to build a reputation, and in order to do so, to build a reputation, you have to be consistent. So you might go to a casting director 10 times and audition for them and not book the role. But guess what? They've brought you back 10 times for a reason, and that's building your career. Okay? So obviously, if they've consistently brought you in, you're doing something right. Okay? Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought you in. So you got to stick with it. So again, you're not auditioning for that one specific role, you're auditioning for your career so that people get to know you and understand like, oh yeah, I know this person, this actor, they do great work. Yeah, I haven't booked them yet, but I know they do great work. And so it's a matter of time before the right role and right opportunity comes along for you. You have to believe that there's a right role and right opportunity for you. So again, don't audition for the role, audition for your career. Casting websites. Okay, I got a few here that I want to share with you that you'll be able to use and to find work and connect with other people in the industry. Number one, Backstage. Okay, it's probably the most known and trusted casting service around. Their website allows for actors to easily search for casting notices based on their specific needs. Okay, this one will cost you about $12.50 a month. Don't quote me on it, but I know there is a price associated with this one. Number two, casting networks. Having an updated profile on here is almost mandatory, especially for on-camera work, as many industry professionals use it. It is free to have an account, but costs money for add-ons like additional photos. It's worth doing at least a few add-ons just to give your profile a bit of an edge. Okay, and so that's something that you can explore on your own time, but it is I think an appropriate website to be a part of. Number three, Actors Access. Okay, this site has an incredible network of projects and offers the most high-profile gigs you could find without having an agent. Okay, so again, when you're starting out, you might not have an agent right away. While registration is free, you can pay per role individually. The recommended one-time yearly fee is $68. Okay. Another is nycasting.com. This site is ideal for talent located in New York City only, providing more specific results for your searches. Again, free to sign up, but this is about $11.95 per month to be a member. Again, don't quote me on the price, but there is definitely a fee associated with this one. Number five, Playbill. It's a free resource for theater professionals to pursue casting notices. While they don't have a system for submitting to parts just yet, the majority of their listings will have a way for you to contact the production teams and reach out on your own. They vet their postings heavily, so you always know you're applying to a legit job. If you sit at the table long enough, the chips will come to you. Trust the process. Consistency. Workshops and showcases. These can be very useful when trying to build connections and contacts in the industry. The truth is, the more people that know you as an actor, increases the odds of your name coming up in a room where decisions about roles are being made. Especially as an actor starting out, a casting director workshop is a great way to be seen. Even if you have an agent, your agent may not have a relationship with a particular casting director in order to get you in the room. This way, it's important not to sit around and wait for opportunities. I'm going to say that again. This is why it's important not to sit around and wait for opportunities, okay? Yes, I encourage you to get an agent, but it doesn't mean you just sit back, relax, and wait for things to happen. You still got to put in some work. You still got to network. You still got to get your name out there as an actor, you got to decide what that looks like for you. You must be careful when looking for workshops and showcases. Okay, some of them can be scams. Okay, do your research and ask questions to ensure they are legitimate opportunities. Cannot stress that enough. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook can be great tools for actors when it comes to looking for work and building connections. I must warn you, there is a good way and a not so good way. Many prominent casting directors are active on social media. Following their accounts can give you a little insight into their process, personality, and sometimes they'll even post casting opportunities. This is a great way to engage with them. How you do this is up to you, but be respectful. Do not harass them about work or feedback. That is a guaranteed way to get you put on their naughty list. Okay, so don't be stalking people. Don't be harassing them. Again, it's all about being professional. When it comes to your social media, remember this is your business and your brand, and perception is everything. Posting a picture of you and your friends drunk, wasted at a party might not reflect well on your image as an actor. Also, don't get caught up in the numbers game. Based on what I've seen and experienced, the number of followers you have might, and I repeat, might help, but won't make a difference if you can't deliver at the audition or on set. Okay, so what I mean by that is, yeah, you might have 50,000 followers that might get you in the room, but if you can't perform and actually do the work, then it won't make a difference. Okay, but it can be beneficial if you have both. All right.